This is part 2 of my 20 years anniversary on what it's really like to live in Spain. And this one matters a lot because it's about community. First, the TLDR. Yes, Spain has a much greater sense of community than most Western countries. Spain is loud, and the people love to go out, enjoy life and party. It is also much safer than most other European countries, with a culture which is accepting of different races, cultures and sexual orientations. But like most seaside towns, it has its fair share of wrong-uns on the run from having burned their bridges at home. So beware of some of the people you might meet. Also, the Spanish culture is friendly, which should not be confused with making actual friends, which takes a lot longer, so take the time to build real relationships. Quick note, this post will not include raising children in Spain, as that experience is so important that I will leave it for another post. I've lived here for 20 years now, and I hear people talk about Spanish community all the time, and yes, it does exist, but it's not as simple as some people would have you believe. So let me give you the David Dickerson, aka the real deal. Back in the 1970s, when I was growing up in the UK, there was a lot more community. Neighbours talked, people knew each other, and everyone looked out for each other's kids. But over the years, that slowly disappeared. I'm sure there are smarter people than me who can explain the socio-economic and political reasons behind why. I just know what I lived. When I came to Spain, many people, including myself, felt that that sense of community feeling we'd lost in the UK was still abundant here. And that is true. But as I will go on to explain, it's not as straightforward as it might seem. Loud. So here's the first thing I need to tell you about the community in Spain. The Spanish are loud. I mean loud. I mean, why is that man shouting loud? It really takes some adjusting to. There's a Buddhist saying that people shout when they are angry because their hearts are far from each other. Not so in Spain. Best friends greet each other at the top of their voices with "Oye, ficha" or "¿Qué tal, tronco?" My fight or flight system still makes me jump sometimes when I think I hear a fight breaking out behind me, only to discover that it's just two Spanish friends greeting each other. Oh, and if your Spanish neighbour has a few friends around for dinner or drinks, expect clapping and cheering over acoustic guitar all night until the break of dawn. Toma algo. I don't know if things have changed, but when I first arrived, if your Spanish friend invited you out to toma algo, expect to be gone for 2 to 3 days. Yes, I'm serious. From lunch to a walk on a paseo, to drinks, to dinner, to the nightclub, all night, to breakfast, maybe a few hours sleep at their house, a shower, maybe hang out at the beach and back out to lunch again. Then rinse and repeat. You will have heard of all the social events in the Spanish calendar. Día Español, Semana Santa, Constitution Day, Nochebuena, Día Tres Reyes, Saints' Days with processions pepper every quarter, and imported holidays like Christmas and Halloween, they do those too. This culture leads to what they call the puente, or bridge days, meaning that, for example, if a Saints' Day falls on a Thursday, a number of businesses and potentially even the local government will take the Friday off as well, since it's so close to the weekend, and not return to work until Monday. Sounds great, unless you need an urgent appointment or are waiting for your air conditioning to be fixed. Then there's the feria. You might know this as the local town fair. But whereas in the UK, these stop being of interest to anybody over 18, in Spain, it's the main event of the year. All the stuff you expect. Bumper cars, roller coasters, shooting galleries with stuffed toys, candy floss, rides for all ages. But what you probably don't expect is the all-night casetas, with music and dancing for all different ages. Classic Spanish music with live singers for the grandparents, and loud pumping reggaeton for the teenagers. Some have classic rock tents, some even have English pop rock tents. Feria is the ultimate toma algo. Music all night, breakfast, shower, hang out at the beach, lunch, walk, dinner, and back to Feria and repeat for another 3 days. Add to this the other festivals, full moon parties, concerts, medieval festivals, etc. If you're a socialite, you could easily fill your calendar for the year. But remember, in summer, it's often over 35 degrees out there, so don't overdo it. Between working hard and partying harder, I have given myself severe heat stroke on more than one occasion. Safety. In my 20 years of living in Spain, I've hardly seen a single fight. Spaniards tend to get angry, shout insults at each other, and then just move on. As expected, the youth are more likely to fight in clubs, over girls, etc. But the levels of knife crime are nothing like the levels in the UK, and gun crime hardly exists. The same goes for women travelling alone, although we have had some horrific cases of abuse, like the Wolfpack scenario, and drugging women in clubs, festival style, is now sadly on the rise. I still think it's safe to say that overall, Spain is a relatively safe place for women compared to the rest of the world. The same goes for other crimes such as burglary. No one is suggesting that you leave your door open or your car unlocked, but crime levels are relatively low, except in big cities, which is true worldwide. During the 2010 Great Recession, crime in Spain rose, again as it did worldwide, but this is still a whole country where women can walk at night safely, children can play in the street without panic, and teenagers can go to the fair or clubs and come home safely.